Time to take a look at the numbers for our starting goalies presented by Honda. And for the Washington Capitals, since mid-December, they've had 3 goaltenders to choose from with Neuvirth and Holtby and Philip Grubauer, who was pulled in the most recent game that he played, giving up 3 goals in Columbus. But he is right back in. That .931 save percentage is 4th best among all goalies in the National Hockey League. And Henrik Lundqvist, we mentioned in the pregame, a rare afternoon off in the back-to-back situation. Alain Vigneault figuring it was a good opportunity to put in Cam Talbot, who got the victory. And Lundqvist, coming off a shutout over Detroit, will face Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals for the final time here in the regular season. Derek Brassard, Brooks Laich with the opening faceoff, controlled by Brassard, is dumped in wide of Grubauer. Alzner back on it, bumped right away, and now here's Pouliot. Brassard was hit up high by Brooks Laich. And play continues. Washington Capitals probably not in a very good mood, winless in their last 4. They've given some leads away. They did it recently on rivalry night here on NBCSN against Pittsburgh. And Brian Adam Oates has shuffled all of his lines up.
Yeah, that always happens. He's gone back to the the guys he usually puts together on that top line with Johansson, Backstrom, and Ovechkin. That's what we expect to see here again tonight. They've been dynamic at so many times. It wasn't working for a while, and every coach will shuffle the lines when you're losing.
And right on cue, the top line is out here for the Capitals. Ovechkin sends it around the boards. It'll be chased down by Kreider. Kreider bumped there by Ovechkin. The Capitals stayed in Columbus to practice yesterday after their loss against the red-hot Blue Jackets. And then the Caps were here this morning for the morning skate. Rangers had an optional. Here's a turnover, a steal by Nash. Cruising into the backhand, he scores! Rick Nash for the beauty, 1-0 Rangers.
What a great steal by Rick Nash here. Backstrom was trying to come out along the wall. Nash could have cleaned him out on a check. Watch along the wall here. Nash is coming the opposite direction. Bad turnover by Orlov, and then Rick Nash, who's dynamic as they come one-on-one. Look at the determination there in that stride. There is no way that Green is going to beat him back to the front of the net. All the Washington Capitals are going the opposite direction. There was a yell from the Washington bench. I think they thought Nash was going to kill Backstrom on that hit. Instead, he steals the puck and does what he does best.
The Canadian Olympian makes it 1-0. Nash is 13th, and more importantly, is 7th in the last 12. So he is heating up, just as Lundqvist is. The two guys that were most criticized early on in the season when things weren't going well. And as Troy Brouwer now sends it back to the line. Connor Carrick, number 58, one of a couple of teenagers in the lineup for the Washington Capitals, but the Rangers will turn it back the other way as Callahan sends it into the Washington zone. In on the forecheck against Erskine. Callahan avoids most of it. Check now as Richard comes in to help out. Now Erskine gets it back for the Caps, hands it off to Carrick, and he'll skate it out to center ice and put it softly into the Rangers zone. Always a buzz in this building at the start of games, but ramped up with that terrific steal by Nash and the subsequent goal. As Dominic Moore pushes it into the Capitals' end. Alzner able to help it along now for Carlson. He's bumped off the puck. Jay Beagle there for the Capitals. Wilson could not get it out. And now Brian Boyle in there. Chips it back for Dan Carcillo, who put it out in front. And it's turned back the other way. 7th game for Carcillo since becoming a New York Ranger. High slot for Alzner. Quickly tried to go back to Wilson. Now Boyle for the Rangers sends it back behind his own net. John Moore took a hit there as it's played by the Rangers out to center ice.
You're starting to get a real different feel from the New York Rangers. Over the last couple of weeks watching them play, I can feel it now down at ice level here too. Their offensive game certainly has come back for them. They're scoring a lot more goals. Their confidence with the puck and the transition game, which is so different than the last couple of years in which they've played more defensive style shot blocking, which sometimes took away from their offense. It's not evident right now. Painful process that started at the beginning of the year, but they're really getting there now.
Lundqvist in a little bit of trouble, went back to play a puck. And now the Capitals trying to take advantage of a bit of a scramble by the Rangers in their own zone. Orlov with a shot, missed the net on the stick side. And it'll be Stahl just chipping it out to center ice. Green knocked it down, but he was bumped by Zuccarello. And this is whistled down with a hand pass.
Alain Vigneault at the start of the year went through a lot of stuff with this team. They started the whole first 3 weeks, it seemed like, on the road, including the preseason because of MSG being under construction. He was very patient, very calm, very even-keeled. Then, Dave, you and I came in here in the second week of December, and it was just the opposite. He was really giving it to his team, and the team was really in turmoil. They weren't playing their game very well. They certainly have turned it around since about mid-December, and they're playing some good hockey.
Yeah, an early December meeting between these two teams here, a 4-1 Caps win. Many that follow the Capitals on an everyday basis said that may have been Washington's best game of the year. And, of course, it was the Capitals for much of the first part of the season that occupied that second spot in this Metropolitan Division below the division-leading Penguins. As we get an icing here. Starting next Saturday, watch as sports' most storied surfaces are transformed into sheets of ice so the biggest teams in hockey can settle the score outside the Coors Light NHL Stadium Series next Saturday on NBCSN and Sunday, January 26th on NBC. And Brian, you and I will be at Dodger Stadium, and I know you played for the LA Kings.
Yep. And, you know, I think we're the smartest guys. We took the game in L.A., not that Michigan stuff.
That's right. As the puck up into the bench area and out of play. But it's going to be such a different environment there. You know, I had a great opportunity for NHL International to be at the Big House in Ann Arbor for the Winter Classic, and the iconic setting and the snow on the ice and the cold and the wind. All of those things, at least according to the forecast, will not be part of the environment for the players. Should be mid to high 40s, very low humidity, and the ice should be in terrific shape.
And they have a volleyball court out in the field there, Straits. You can spend some spare time there if you want to see.
Well, I think that's where JR and Anson are going to be stationed.
Yeah, and I think your vertical is probably about 1.5 feet, right?
That's it.
Well, the Washington Capitals have to get something going here, too. They're going to need some scoring, some balanced scoring in this game. The New York Rangers are getting it from different places, and so the Washington Capitals are going to have a balanced score here, too.
Stralman's shot hit Erskine in front, and now Chimera will wrist it back toward the Ranger zone. Stralman slides it across, Stahl backhands the center ice. Capitals dump it right back in.
That's something Adam Oates wants to see from his team. He wants to see his defense up. He wants to see a small gap. Too many games lately, there's too big a gap between the forwards and deep.
Now Richards surveys the situation, hammers a shot well wide. May have been looking for a redirect at the side of the net. Now Carrick gets there again. Taken away by Richards. Callahan goes back to Richards. Richards with a shot through traffic. And Grubauer was in position to make that save. Now Chimera with a hit on Moore, but the Rangers get to it first. Callahan with a redirect went just wide. Now Troy Brouwer lifting it out to center ice. Stahl is there. Pulls it away from Grabowski and bounces it back in wide of the Capitals net. Big hit down on the corner from the captain Callahan, and that draws a response from the Garden faithful. As Richards back to the point, Moore slides it across. Delzato moves in, gets the shot away, and that went cleanly through to the far corner. Moore has it again. Now it's taken away by Eric Fair. He starts it back as the Capitals are making a change. The shot by Fair was blocked by Delzato. And Boyle making sure that he clears it out to center ice. And the Capitals offside at the Ranger line. Well, again, going back to the Stadium Series, Anaheim and LA, and what a great matchup that is. A rivalry game. Anaheim, hottest team in the league. LA, a lot of people feel with the core of guys they have from that Stanley Cup team a couple of years ago, could win it again this year. How about Rangers, Devils, Rangers, Islanders at iconic Yankee Stadium, and then Soldier Field for Pittsburgh and Chicago on March 1st on NBC.
Those two Yankee Stadium games, of course, a lot of extra people in the New York area because that's the off week, the bye week leading up to the Super Bowl.
Now backhanded out to center ice. Green steps up. Mike Green hands it off for a quick wrist shot by Fair that was easily stopped by Lundqvist. Now Beagle with it, tried to chip it to the front. Stahl blocked it. Wilson digs it back to the point. It gets away from Orlov. He's being pursued by Carcillo. Orlov makes a nice little move. Now plays it up the right wing side for Beagle. Beagle right between the circles. He finds Martin Erat. He's back in the lineup and had an assist on the only goal in Columbus the other night after being a healthy scratch for 4 games. A lot of trade rumors surrounding number 10, who just hasn't found a regular spot in Adam Oates' lineup. But now Moore able to play it up the far side as Carcillo backhands at center ice.
And he was against Delzato, and it's the same story for him, the defenseman for the New York Rangers. A lot of trade talk about him.
A couple of Rangers bump into each other, allows Brooks like to bring it right to the front and roll momentarily in front of an open net, but the Rangers were there. And the Lundqvist lost his stick. He got it back from John Moore very alertly. Now the Capitals last couple of shifts, Brian, spending a little bit of time on the Rangers zone. After giving up that early goal, just a minute and 10 in. Here's Carlson sweeping it to the net. Comes all the way to the near boards. Joel Ward is there. Back to Carlson again, up high on Lundqvist. And he will hold it there. He makes a play on both sides of the puck. The defensive play, and then the finish, and then the celebration. Rick Nash.
Even though they're winless in their last 4, Adam Oates was trying to keep things light this morning. He said, we're not that badly off, but early on in this game, they are. They're just turning the puck over too often inside their own zone. Not paying attention, not making good passes. The Rangers with good sticks, good steal there by Richards, but Washington, you can't let that happen. This was the worst one. Orlov not looking at Nash coming the other way, and there's no chance there for Backstrom to keep that puck in, and it's 1-0 for the Rangers because of it.
Adam Oates, of course, a product of RPI. Thinks like an engineer. Brian said his dad was an engineer. He thinks, what was the term you used this morning? Spatial relations?
Spatial awareness, yeah. Being aware of the whole ice out there and who's where, how much room and time you have. He said, yeah, my dad was an engineer, so was I. He said, I taught a class in spatial awareness at RPI.
Well, he was asked about Backstrom and whether Backstrom would be a guy that would be a real good fit on the big ice surface because of his talent. And Adam says, you know what? The good players are better on the smaller surface because they can read plays in small areas and in shorter time. As Green with a chance here, and that hit the goalpost and bounces over the glass out of play.
Washington coming with a good push over their last couple of shifts. They've spent a lot more time in the Ranger zone. Get pucks to the net. Really nice play there from Beagle over to Green coming late on the play. Green with a terrific release. He's scored 30 goals one year playing defense. He gets in, gets all of that. And Lundqvist got a definite hand on that one as well, too. I think it went off the crossbar afterwards, but Lundqvist got some leather on that one. Lundqvist has been extremely sharp.
Pretty good spatial awareness on that pass, seeing Green come in as Carrick with a shot that is seen all the way by Lundqvist.
Well, Lundqvist, the smile is back on his face, and the smile's back in his game, too. 4-1 in his last 5 games alone. .957 save percentage in those last 5 games. Coming off a shutout as well. He is way more relaxed, and he looks like the King Henrik of old.
Carrick now trying to change the shooting angle as the shot deflected to the corner. Of course, Lundqvist signed that 7-year, nearly $60 million extension that will kick in next year. Back in mid-December, and some thought that maybe put some pressure on him. He wasn't playing particularly well at the time anyway, but you're right.
Yeah, he was thinking about getting that contract done, I think. He mentioned that. And then when he first signed it, he wasn't playing well. Neither was the team. And he said, I'd like to be able to enjoy it more. That's all he said to me a couple of weeks ago. Well, I'm sure he's enjoying it a little bit more now.
And, of course, he'll be the #1 goaltender for Sweden, one of the favorites for the Sochi Olympics. Men's tournament opening up on the 12th of February. As this puck lifted out to center ice, Carrick has it there. Makes a nice little move and sends it across for Chimera, and that play was just offside. Scott Cherry, the linesman, making that call.
Here's a look at Connor Carrick, 19-year-old defenseman out of the Ontario Hockey League. I asked about him this morning, and Callie Johansson, who works with the defense, says he's Mike Green with an edge. I went, wow, that's pretty good. He went, yeah, this kid's really got some skills. Passes the puck really hard, good passer, real good skater. He's going to make mistakes. He's still a teenager, but they need somebody on the left side, if they can, who can make some plays. On the left side of their defense, they just don't pass the puck well enough as much as Adam Oates would like them to, and they're hoping that Carrick will develop into a guy who can really move the puck for them.
Just 19 years of age. A Boyle with a shot into the glove of Grubauer, and he will hold it there. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet. NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/live extra and NHL.com.
That was Tom Wilson and Brian Boyle who had a little bit of a collision. It looked like they exchanged a few words there, but both walked away. Wilson took a penalty the other day for the Washington Capitals that Adam Oates wasn't very happy about, and he's warned him about situations like that. Wilson walked away there.
Yeah, the Caps were going on a power play in a scoreless game. That penalty made it a 4-on-4. A subsequent penalty by the Capitals. Suddenly they were down a man. The Blue Jackets scored. It was 1-0. So, and he called it a junior habit. So he said, you know, he is a young kid, but he said, I told him, I'm not going to treat you like a kid. I'm just going to treat you like a player.
Yeah.
And certain things you got away with in junior, you're not going to get away with at this level. And he left it at that. And you're right. It looked like right there, Tom Wilson learned the lesson and skated away from a potential situation.
Well, because the next step is you're out of the lineup if you don't.
Yeah, that's right. Now Erat with it. Sends it back straight away. Alsner with a shot on a blocker save by Lundqvist. Alsner followed it up immediately. Now Erat sends it behind the net for Brooks Laich. Out to the right point for Karlsson. Middle of the ice. Ward trying to work a little give and go with Brooks Laich, but it's chopped away by Boyle. Doesn't come out as it's held in at the line by Laich. Now Erat battling against Delzato. Moore is there as well. Ward steps in on him and chipped it away, but it's the Rangers that get to it first. And it's chipped off the glass and softly back into the Capital zone. Now the puck over by that Capitals bench just as Washington was making some changes. Stall for Pouliot. Pouliot chips it along. Grubauer just steers it to his defense, and we got a whistle and a penalty coming here. And we will get the official call. Looks like it's a hook against the Rangers. When we come back, we'll hear from Alain Vigneault right after this.
Jumped out to the early lead here. What are you seeing out there that you like or maybe needs to improve?
Well, we spent the last 4 shifts in our end here defending, so we need to break out a little bit quicker, 5 guys together, and we got to get through our zone, get through that neutral zone and play in their end.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure, Brad.
Spoken like a coach whose team is shorthanded as Derek Brassard, right when we went to the break, Brian, guilty of hooking.
Yeah, Capitals have a chance here on the power play. The faceoff comes down the other end. Anytime you reach in around the hands, you're going to get hooking penalties really easy in today's NHL.
Power play presented by Ford. The Capitals, one of the best power plays in the league, but they haven't done much on it lately. As this shot by Ovechkin is deflected away. Girardi working against Johansson, drops it back. And McDonough will send it all the way back down the ice. The Capitals 0 for 13 on the power play in their last 5 games.
I was talking to Joel Ward before the game about the power play. A lot of people from the outside say, well, Washington relies on their power play to win games too much. He said, we don't sit around the locker room and say, yeah, let's win it on the power play and not care about 5-on-5. They have struggled over the last couple of games, and it's hurt.
Johansson with a good burst of speed, testing Lundqvist.
Johansson back on the wing again. They had him at center. They like him at the wing. At least his coach does. He's got some really good hands. That's a nice move to the inside there. That's the advantage there. When you're a left-hand shot and you're attacking on the right wing side, you drop that shoulder and fake like you're going to go outside, freeze the defenseman. When you cut back into the middle, your stick is right prime time, right in the middle of the slot. Good move there, but Lundqvist made the save.
Yeah, you talked to Marcus a little bit this morning, Brian, about playing wing or center, and he talked about some of the positives of playing in the middle, but I think his coach likes him better on the wing.
Yeah, you're on the puck more when you're at center for sure, and I think that sharpens him up even when he goes back to the wing. Makes you more confident, I think, with the puck. On the wing, of course, for Johansson, he just has to play the puck off the wall coming out of his own zone, and coaches always talk about their own end first, don't they?
Absolutely. Capitals with an 8-3 advantage, shots on goal, which goes to Vigneault's point. Here's a chance for Ovechkin that bounced off his stick. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it was in his feet a little bit, Dave, but how can the Rangers forget about number 8? That's where he goes all the time. It's like he had the cloaking device on there and he didn't even see them. They didn't even see him standing there. You can't make a mistake with Ovechkin there. If he had fielded it cleanly, that's in the back of the net.
Ovechkin with 4 goals in the last dozen games. He was on such a tear. I mean, close to being a threat for 50 goals in 50 games. He's cooled off a little bit, but and you certainly can't forget about him. Leads the National Hockey League, as we mentioned, in goals and shots, in power play goals.
Well, you know, when you're playing against a power play, I mean, you have to keep trying. He's mad. Ovechkin just about broke his stick when he came back to the bench. You have to be aware of the top scorers in the game and where they are on the ice. You just have to play the odds. You shade to other guys. This guy's the top goal scorer in the National Hockey League, and he has been ever since He came in. See how it was in his feet a little bit? But what a play by Backstrom. That's what makes Backstrom one of the great dishers in the game. There was so much pace on it, and maybe it surprised even Ovechkin a little bit. You can see the frustration there. It was in between his feet. Couldn't quite handle it. Backstrom just wheeled and fired it to him right on the mark.
Yeah, Backstrom leading the National Hockey League in power play points with 26. And now the Brassard penalty is over. Capitals on the move. Chimera with a shot that ramped up off the stick of McDonough. And now Derek Stepan off that three-point effort yesterday afternoon in Ottawa. Plays it ahead. Here is Nash, who has the goal on the game's first shot just a minute 10 in. Since then, it's been the Capitals that have played mostly in the Rangers zone. Mike Green gains the line, has a winger, Chimera, cutting to the net. John Moore with a good stick, and the Rangers send it to center ice. Green angles it off the boards. Chimera helps it along into the Rangers zone. Zuccarello. That took a strange hop off the wall. And Kreider's going to chase it down. Kreider with a wrist shot that's blocked well up in the air. Now Chimera and Zuccarello battling for the puck. It comes free. And Grabowski backhands us. So again, into the offensive zone for the Rangers, but nothing happens. Only 2 shots on goal since the opening tally by Nash, a minute and 10 in. Erat spins off a Ranger check, sends it back to the line. Carrick takes a look, and that wrist shot goes off. The end board bounced momentarily in front of the Ranger net, and Girardi clears it away out to center ice. Now Fair with it, sends it across. Connor Carrick. For Grabowski with a rising shot. Lundqvist got a piece of that, and that's still in play. They hit up high on the glass. Now Hagelin takes a bump from Ovechkin. Girardi plays it up the far boards. Callahan trying to settle it down now. Girardi plays it ahead off the skate of Johansson. Recovered by the Ranger captain. Ryan Callahan across the line with a wrist shot here. Grubauer with the save. Gave up a rebound. And Carlson slapped it to the near boards. And the Capitals able to clear. Now Strawman carries in. Grubauer just steers that aside. Carlson now for the Capitals, hands it off, and here comes Backstrom. Trying to get through Derek Stepan, who would have none of that. Stepan back the other way. You've talked about turnovers, Brian. There was another one.
And the Rangers just haven't had any puck possession. They've been playing defense, just like Alain Vigneault said. They need to get something going here, get some momentum back. The fans want to be in this. They know their team is up 1-0, but they don't seem to be feeling too good about it. I don't think the Rangers are either.
Now Nash turns back the other way. Missed Kreider with that pass, and this will be icing. Let's take a look at the upcoming television schedule. As we'll have the Wild and Dallas, a rematch of a game last night that Minnesota won on home ice in overtime. Tuesday, 7 Eastern. Our coverage begins here on NBCSN. Rivalry night, a great one, Chicago and Detroit, and then Pittsburgh and the Islanders. The Islanders are starting to climb up in this Metropolitan Division.
They had a great road streak going there. Tavares was just on a tear.
Of course, Tavares will be part of the Canadian Olympic team. John Moore was trying to get his stick free. I think Erat's going to get a penalty here. I think the Rangers are going to go on a power play.
Yeah, another hooking call there.
So we will step away. Rangers with a 1-0 lead and a man advantage after this.
Bottom left of your screen is Marty Erat. He loses the puck. John Moore goes to pull away. Just see how Erat just kind of turned his stick blade over enough, just enough to catch the hands a little bit. He doesn't like the call, but that's what it was. It was the turn of the hands over. That's Frederic Lecouillier, the referee, having a little conversation with him. He's talking about the stick blade and the hands, and it's a good call. I mean, they're very tough on everybody.
Yeah.
If you get in on the hands at all, you get a hooking penalty.
Power play for the Rangers, and in this streak of 8 games, Brian, where they've won 6, they have won the special teams battle. Their power play's been good. Their penalty kill's been good. The first shot here by McDonough is blocked.
They have a lot more speed on their power play. I was talking to Adam Oates about the Rangers power play, and he said, why do you see it being better? He said, well, they're faster. Their entries are better. That one wasn't. Brassard with a little move right at the blue line.
Yeah.
But their entries are better. He said Brad Richards is having a better season, and he usually has the puck. But he said you got a lot of speed there, and they're attacking with it with more confidence. Adam Oates knows a thing or two about power plays. That's for sure. One of the great power play specialists of all time. And, of course, trying to get his team ready to play against the Rangers power play is what we were talking about this morning.
Ooh, Zuccarello was hooked, and they are going to call it. At first, I didn't think there was going to be a call.
Right
and
on the hands again.
Yeah, we're just 23 seconds into the ERAP minor penalty, and this was Zuccarello moving his feet, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grubauer, I mean, he just had to fight this shot off. Zuccarello got a lot on it. He gets the puck here, kind of a broken play. Yeah, and just a reach in by Alzner. You can see how it pulled Zuccarello back. That gets the attention of the referees, and now a big 5-on-3 situation, a chance to make a 2-goal bulge here for the Rangers. The Rangers, I mean, they just need some puck possession right now. They have gone way too many shifts where Washington's had the puck for the most part and had it in the Rangers zone.
5-on-3 for the Rangers. A chance to increase their 1-0 lead. Big face-off win by Backstrom, but a recovery by Callahan. Ryan Callahan now getting the penalty killers to back off a little bit. Now McDonough with it. Hands it off for Richards straight away. Far side for Nash. Nash with a quick shot. He scores! It got through. Grubauer, second of the game for Nash, and it's 2-0 Rangers.
Rick Nash saw something. There's no doubt. He saw a hole on the short side. Left side of your screen is Rick Nash. Now we'll see what he sees. Grubauer just wasn't ready. I don't know if Rick Nash thought he could really fit something in here or if he was looking for the rebound for Callahan. What he saw was a big 5-hole. That 5-hole was open, and the quickness of the release, and he got a lot on it. Grubauer couldn't drop to his knees quickly enough to shut the door. Second goal of the night for Nash. He's really starting to roll.
Boy, is he ever. 14th of the season.
And Zuccarello and John Erskine doing a little fencing at the opening face-off here. Zuccarello checking the lumber after that.
So Alzner still in the box for the Capitals. As the Rangers have a 2-0 lead. Here's Brassard. Across the line with Zuccarello. Ward with a good stick. Able to send it all the way back down the ice.
Not a good goal by Philip Grubauer there. You can't let those five-hole goals go in, even if it is on a 5-on-3.
Now Richards with it. As we mentioned, Grubauer coming off a game in which he was pulled, although really wasn't his fault. The 3 goals in Columbus.
Adam Oates said, I pulled him because of the way we were playing, not because of the way he was playing.
Now Richards slides it across. Here's McDonough with it. Back to Richards. Nice play with a skate to his stick. Hands it off. Right here. That didn't miss by much, did it, Brian? You had a better angle.
Oh, Brassard was looking right over his shoulder. He just smoked that thing. It missed by about an inch on the short side. That corner was open, top shelf.
Both teams making changes now with under 3 minutes remaining here in the first. 35 seconds remaining in the Alzner penalty is Kreider. Colliding there with Green. Mike Green pushes it along. One of the Rangers got a stick on it. And now it's backhanded into the Ranger zone. Girardi taking a quick look over his shoulder. Derek Stepan has it.
Rangers had a 5-on-3 goal yesterday afternoon against Ottawa, too.
Yeah.
So a lot of confidence there. Their power play looks so different. I talked to a couple of guys, including Henrik Lundqvist, who gets a look at it from the far end. He said, we practice it more. That's one of the things.
Now back for Delzato. Hands it off on the far side. And with a shot, score! Just as Alzner came out of the box. It won't be a power play goal statistically, but Alzner never got back into the play, and Adam Oates' team is down 3-0.
And that's going to be it for Grubauer, too. I saw the nod of the head to Adam Oates down to Braden Holtby. He'll go in. Grubauer just couldn't find the puck there. A smart shot by Stepan, top of your screen. Stepan will just find an opening. The key to good penalty killing is being in the shooting lanes early. But a little bit of a change of direction here by Stepan. Watch him pull the puck in, change the angle a little bit. And so Brouwer, the guy who came out who confronted him, was not right in the shooting lane. Now look at Grubauer, the goaltender, trying to find it. He had no idea where it was. You could see he was looking left, looked back right, just didn't have the feel of the game so far, and it's cost his team. That one, yeah, it's hard to find, but you have to do a better job of getting out, making yourself big. Even if you can't see it, you have to be in position to have a chance to let it hit you.
So Braden Holtby for the second game in a row comes in at relief. The native of Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, which was the host city for Hockey Day in Canada. And Braden's mom and dad were both stars on Hockey Night in Canada during their all-day coverage yesterday, and he was having a pretty good chuckle about that.
His mother can really sing, I guess, huh?
Yes. His mom, Tammy, a terrific country singer, wrote a song about having a kid that plays hockey, and that was performed as part of all the festivities there in Lloydminster. And then his dad, Greg, was part of a panel with some other dads. And as Johansson drops it back, Backstrom for Johansson, and that was blocked wide. Delzato and Girardi the assist on the Stepan goal after Richards and McDonough got the assist on the Nash goal. Now Pouliot hands it off on the far side. Boyle just sends it in deep. Less than a minute remaining in the period. Rangers score on their first shot, then the Capitals control the next 4 or 5 shifts, as Alain Vigneault mentioned to Brian Engblom. And then special teams, a penalty kill by the Rangers, and then a power play goal in what, for all intents and purposes, was a second one. Here's a chance on the rush, but it's blocked by Erskine up on the netting and out of play as we go inside the glass. Here's Brian Engblom.
Well, the power play has been a big story for the New York Rangers. It has so much more tempo and so much more feel to it, and you can see it in this game. Rick Nash scored the first one, 5-on-3, so you're going to get a lot of good chances. This is from Ottawa the other night. That's the 5-on-3 that Richards scored. And then in this game here tonight, it'll be Rick Nash off to the side. He sees a little opening on the 5-hole there, and look at that quick release there. He goes and gives the 2-goal advantage at the time, and then Stepan added to that 3-0.
Stralman with a shot right through, and Holtby, he took a little bump there from Kreider, and I think Kreider's going to go.
Yeah, we're going to get one each, it looks like. A slashing call indicated as well. Kreider getting to the front of the net. And Mike Green, I believe, was all over him afterwards.
No, maybe it's just the one penalty. They called slashing on Kreider.
Okay. See, I thought Green was going to get something for that. But he didn't. A couple of shots there, yeah. I mean, the goaltender. And then a little bit of push afterwards. The Green gave him, and rightfully so, Mike Green should have given him a couple of shots. You have to protect your goalie a little bit, make it uncomfortable for players to play in front of your net, and give Green a couple of free ones and a power play for Washington.
They need something to happen here as Ovechkin got a shot through. Lundqvist able to hang onto it at the top of the blue paint. We're down to 29.7 seconds remaining in the first period. Power play number 2 for the Caps, who had only one shot on that first one. Caps win the draw again. Ovechkin for Green. Green with a wrist shot. And that may have hit the Capital player, Troy Brouwer, cutting in front.
That hurt him. I think it hit him in the upper body there. Mike Green got a lot on that shot. He hit Brouwer. Look up at the other ribs, it looked like.
Ovechkin will drive one in on Lundqvist. He steers it to the corner. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Chipped up the glass. Moved along by the Rangers. Mike Green came down to hold it in, but the horn sounds to end the first period. At times, not the prettiest period for the home team Rangers, but what looks pretty to them, the 3-0 score thanks to 2 goals from Rick Nash. Stay with us for the Lexus Intermission Report. Liam McHugh, Keith Jones will talk about the resurgence of number 61, and they'll talk about a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final that took place earlier today on NBC between the Bruins and the Blackhawks in Chicago. First shot of the game in the net. Then the Rangers took over on special teams. It is 3-0. The Intermission Report right after this. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And welcome back to Madison Square Garden here in New York. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom. And how about this? The countdown to Sochi. Alexander Ovechkin will be a guest on the Today Show, Studio 1A tomorrow morning. And as of right now, he won't be in a very good mood, but things could change. Ovechkin and the Capitals have come back 3 times this season from 3-goal deficits to win games, and Chris Kreider is in the box still for that penalty he took, slashing the goaltender late in period number 1. As it is sent down wide of Braden Holtby, who has come in to replace Philip Grubauer, who gave up 3 goals on just 8 shots as Johansson hits the line. Capitals on the power play. Backstrom tried to get it to Ovechkin, who had to chase it down on the near side. He took a slash. Going to be called. It comes to Ovechkin. He'll hammer a shot that goes off the glass. And now on the touch-up, so just as the Rangers had a 5-on-3, now the Capitals do.
Yeah, Ovechkin looking at that forearm right above the glove, too. It was the pass by Backstrom right off the wall, the same way he set him up in the first period. And that's Zuccarello with the one-handed slash. Oh, excuse me, Hagelin. And he chops Ovechkin right in that area just above the glove and right below the elbow pad. It's easy for your hand to go pretty numb there. This is a huge chance for Washington to get themselves back in this game.
Well, the second Nash goal, the one that snuck through Grubauer, was a 5-on-3 goal, and now you see Hagelin in the box with still 57 seconds remaining in the Kreider penalty. So all-important faceoff is won by Boyle. McDonough tries to eat it along the wall, but it's taken away by Johansson. Capitals have control. Ovechkin with a shot, save, and the puck comes back to Ovechkin. He'll try it again, and it's blocked up on the glass and goes all the way around the boards and down into the Capital zone.
Ryan McDonough, I think, knocked that one right out of the air after the initial save before it went over the line.
Johansson hands it off for Backstrom. 35 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Backstrom to the face-off dot, back to Green. Looks to Ovechkin for the one-timer, scores! You know it's coming, and you still can't stop it.
You have to see Henrik Lundqvist's reaction after this. He's down on his knees. He must be thinking, are you kidding me? He came across here. Ovechkin's on a really tough angle. He has radar for the net. Right side of your screen is number 8. The pass is going to come across.
He's
and
there.
There's the one-time shot. Lundqvist is there, shrugs the shoulder. But, I mean, how do you stop this? It's a really unique release that Ovechkin has. See how he kind of points the toe of the stick up in the air? So when he gets it, he really clicks. It's like a guy who can hit the golf ball about 400 yards. He gets extra torque on it, uses his hands and his wrist, and it's pure radar for the upper portions of the net.
League-leading 35th goal and league-leading 13th power play goal. And the power play still on here for the Capitals. Swept to the front and a left toe save made by Lundqvist. And now the Rangers able to send it all the way back.
Well, that was not a good penalty that Carl Hagelin took. That one-handed slash was so easy to see. It was an easy call to make, and it put them down 5-on-3, and it's cost them a goal here.
And Backstrom adding to his league-leading power play point total with an assist, along with Mike Green. Now it's picked up and cleared down the ice by Stralman, and Braden Holtby will settle it down there. Now Ovechkin. A couple of times faked like he was going to dump it in, and the second little hitch threw a couple of teammates offside. We go back and take a look at that penalty you were talking about, Brian.
Yeah, here's Hagelin. I mean, how easy is that to call? That play is not going to do anything good. It's not going to take the puck away from Ovechkin. All it's going to do is it's going to catch the referee's eye. And then there's the result of it. Ovechkin loading and firing on the one-timer. Basically unstoppable if he hits that corner, and he did.
40 seconds remaining in that Hagelin minor penalty. Orlov throws it across. Here's Johansson. Capitals set it up on the power play. Back to Green. Sends it across for Orlov. Now Green straight away. A little backhand flip pass. Johansson down low. Here's Backstrom. He had Brouwer, but decided not to try to force that. Now Johansson tries to send it across for Orlov. It was blocked by one of the Rangers, sent wide of the net. Now it comes to Brouwer. Bounces off a couple of sticks and picked up by the Rangers. They started back. Short-handed. Dominic Moore with a shot. Save. Rebound. Score! Callahan short-handed.
a one-man wrecking crew. Goes to the net on the rebound and gets inside position on Dmitry Orlov, and then just wrecks the joint. Moore makes the intelligent shot. He hits the pad. There's a big rebound. Callahan's got inside position, puts it in the net, and then destroys the net. Moore knows exactly what's going on here, what he wants to accomplish. Callahan works harder than Orlov does. Big rebound, though, by Holtby. Holtby's got to control that rebound better than that, rather than kicking it right out into the slot about 15 feet away. And there's the demolition man, Callahan.
First shorthanded goal for Callahan. The third that the Rangers have scored, but the sixth that the Capitals have given up. So their power play has been burned a couple of times this season. Ryan Callahan, his 9th goal of the year, and the Rangers have regained the 3-goal advantage.
And to talk about changing the momentum again, it looked like Washington was just starting to come, the 5-on-3 goal. You don't want to give them too much if you're the Rangers, here in their rink especially. That's a huge goal, momentum killer. When you give up a shorthanded goal, it really cuts your legs out for a while. Any team, Washington's got to rebuild themselves here.
Now Zuccarello will send it around to the far side. Ryan McDonagh getting an assist along with Dominic Moore on the shorthanded goal by Callahan.
And that was just execution. Dominic Moore made the smart play. He wasn't in a rush. He knew Callahan was coming, so he didn't get too far ahead. Made as much penetration as he could, then made the smart shot. I mean, Holtby really kicked out a juicy rebound there.
Second assist for McDonagh, who's really picked up the offensive side of his game this season, Brian.
McDonagh's a heck of a defenseman. He's been a great defender. I think he's had more focus on his offensive game. His responsibilities with Girardi, McDonagh and Girardi are always against the top lines as shutdown guys. And I think in the past there was so much focus of that and shot blocking. And that's changed a little bit this year. And you see more of the offense that McDonough's capable of.
Zuccarello with a shot. Holtby was over to steer that aside. Now Stahl moved in, sent it behind the net. Angled off the near boards now. Strawman for Pouliot. And to fend off Carlson, it rolls out to the line. Stahl fires it off the end boards, looking for a carom, and now Carlson sent that down the ice. And it will not go far enough for icing. Quick up, though, by the Rangers. Here, Stepan has a man cutting for the front of the net. Kind of fanned on the pass. Boy, it was Nash who was streaking towards the net.
Yeah, it was a tough change. They always are in the second periods. A wholesale change for Washington. Nice quick up by Strawman there. And Stepan just fanned on the situation.
Rick Nash, in case you're wondering, 5 career hat tricks, has not had one as a member of the Rangers. As Green under some pressure there from Kreider. Able to backhand this puck center ice. Now Erat takes a look around and plays it into the Rangers zone. Nash tried to clear. Orlov checked him as it rolls down into the Capital zone. We'll have an icing call here.
Well, let's take another look at that goal that was scored by the New York Rangers. As the puck comes out of the zone, Washington working the puck down low, and a little push from behind there by Dominic Moore. That could have been a little bit of interference. He pushed Brouwer, number 20, off balance, and that allowed Dominic Moore to more time and room and wait for Callahan to catch up.
Now Kreider backhands it into the Capital zone. And Backstrom able to get through Richards' stick check. Sends it deep into the Rangers zone. McDonagh off the boards. Ovechkin tracking it down. Ovechkin tries to send it toward the Ranger net. It's blocked and cleared back out center ice. Brad Richards has it there. Backhands it across. Here's Callahan again. Puts on the brakes. Whips it to the front. Goes off a skate. And now Holtby will cover as Ryan Callahan trying to set up another scoring opportunity.
Well, it's never easy for a goaltender to come in off the bench and go into a game when the other team is really rolling. Yours isn't so much. And get yourself into the game. Callahan with a little spin around move. Much better coverage, though, in front of the net. And Brad Richards had no chance for that goal.
And that shorthanded goal, the reward for Ryan Callahan, wishing his grandmother a happy 98th birthday as he finished up the pregame interview with you.
Goal for the birthday.
Grandmother Adrian with Ryan's parents, Mike and Donna, at their home in Rochester, New York, watching. Grandma's 98th birthday, and a shorthanded goal there for the captain, Ryan Callahan, that has made it 4-1. Carrick with a shot here. It's steered aside by Lundqvist. Brooks Laich will follow it to the corner. Delzato watching him. Now it comes to the high slot. Ward, he wanted to go back to the point, but it's taken away. And here's Callahan handing it off for Richards. Hagelin going to the front of the net. The puck just out of his reach. Now Hagelin hands it back off the skate of Callahan. Richards pushes it back along. Taken away by Laich, but there's Hagelin in on the forecheck. Now Carlson comes up with it for the Capitals. Came into this period trailing by 3. They got it down to a 2-goal deficit on the 5-on-3 goal by Ovechkin, but then the shorthanded tally, Callahan reestablished the 3-goal margin that currently exists here, and now Carcillo across the line trying to make something happen. It's taken away by Troy Brouwer. Back on the counterattack, hands it off for Erat. Spins away from Carcillo's check, gets the shot away, knocked down and covered up now by Lundqvist. Ovechkin started the comeback, but then Callahan shorthanded. It's a 3-goal Ranger lead. This February, the world will converge in Sochi, Russia, as athletes from across the globe compete for country and Olympic gold. The Sochi Olympic Winter Games begin Thursday, February 6th on NBC. And of course, both the captains of these teams will be there. Ryan Callahan, one of 3 U.S. Olympians on the Rangers, and Ovechkin, one of 3 Olympians overall, playing for the Washington Capitals. Backstrom, his line mate, will be there for Sweden as this icing call is made. And of course, John Carlson, as we mentioned at the top of the show, will be there for USA. For the Washington Capitals, the Rangers also with Derek Stepan, Ryan McDonagh going for USA, Carl Hagelin and Henrik Lundqvist for Sweden, Nash for Canada, Zuccarello for Norway. And what a terrific tournament, Brian, it is going to be. Just starting to look at some of these rosters, some more well publicized than others, and you got 7 countries basically with a lot of NHL players.
I can hardly wait for the pronunciation guide.
Yeah,
for some of the teams.
I think Doc's typing it right now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Orlov sends it on the far side. Grabowski was checked there by Stahl. Erat sent it back along the end boards. Troy Brouwer is there. Now Grabowski, haven't said his name much here in the first part of this game, number 84.
No, they need to get him on the puck a little bit more. He's basically second-line center here right now, and they need some production. The top line has had some chances, made some nice plays, but Grabowski hasn't had the puck much.
Brouwer with a shot that got through, and that was a nifty right pad save by Lundqvist. It's amazing how different a goaltender looks when they have confidence.
There is no doubt. I talked to Lundqvist this morning. He said patience is the one thing that's come back to me. He said, I have to play a patient game because I play deep in my net. Everybody knows that. But I lost my patience a little bit. It's back now. And he said, with the team playing better in front of you, too, it's easier for me to be patient. So it's sort of the chicken or the egg syndrome. That's what he was saying.
Now a collision center right. Zuccarello got spun around by Wilson. And no call. The crowd here at Madison Square Garden was looking for one. Eric Fair, a nifty little chip play off the wall for Beagle. Starts it back now for the Capitals. They trail 3-0. The Caps have won 2 of the first 3 meetings between these teams, despite the fact Ovechkin did not have a point in the first 3, but has a goal in this one. And yet the Capitals, with Ovechkin scoring down 4-1.
Well, it's so much harder to stay close to Ovechkin when it's a 5-on-3 situation.
Exactly.
I mean, he's got that extra room and time, and that one-timer is lethal.
Now Boyle with a shot, and Holtby hangs on to that as a couple of players come together, and now Erskine arriving on the scene to go after Boyle, who had gotten his glove up on one of the other Caps. Wilson is in there, and he's a guy that loves to scrap.
Yeah, Wilson definitely wants the gloves off there.
And that is Dan Carcillo, who's no stranger to it as well.
Carcillo giving away a little bit of size there to Wilson, no doubt about that, but he's certainly not shy. Now it's still going on in behind the scenes. That Brian Boyle's in the middle of that too. Now Boyle's been moved to wing and he hasn't had nearly as much ice time, so I think he's trying to have an effect on the game whichever way he can. His ice time was 12, 13, 14 minutes, sometimes more when he was playing well earlier on. But over the last couple of games for Brian Boyle, he's been down to 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
He's a penalty kill guy, and the Rangers have not taken a lot of penalties, especially of late. So that affects his ice time as well, too. But he's been pushing and shoving with a couple of guys, the Washington Capitals.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the penalties. Washington, number 43, Tom Wilson. The Rangers, number 13, Daniel Carcillo. Each receives 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalties, 9:22. Washington's Wilson. The Rangers,
And the voice of Joe
Carcillo, 2 for
Tallison, the
roughing.
PA announcer here at Madison Square Garden, letting us know that each team got one minor penalty as Carcillo and Wilson having a little conversation down there in from their respective penalty boxes.
And that's that secondary skirmish that we showed you. The referees always like to clamp down on those secondary ones. There's the original one had Boyle and a couple other guys involved. When other guys pair off and split away from the group and try to get something going, those are the two that got nailed.
Johansson circling the net, has it on the backhand. Alsner across for Karlsson, 4 skaters aside. Now Backstrom centering pass, bounced off a skate right out in front of Lundqvist. Johansson sends it back, Karlsson back to Johansson, back to Karlsson. Tees it up, now he lets it go, it was blocked and it's chopped away by Rick Nash. And Holtby reads the play and comes out ahead of number 61 and sends it out to center ice, but just off the bench was Richards to block it. Nash tried to send it back to Girardi. That didn't connect. Ovechkin takes a hit from the Ranger defenseman, but stays on his skates, hands it off. Mike Green makes an empty move with a shot. He scores! Exactly.
No,
they're waving it off.
Penalty. Going to be a penalty and card in front of the net.
Wow.
I think it's Martin Erad. What a move by Mike Green to score that goal.
I was about to say exactly what Adam Oates was telling us this morning. He needs more of this.
Washington, first.
Interference in front of the net, and yes, it is Martin Erad. And Mike Green grabbed the puck and made the play so quickly. Nice play by Ovechkin. Now watch this curl and drag here by Green. Ooh, is that any good? Then he picks the top shelf, and then right there in the middle of your screen,
boy.
number 10, Martin Erad taking a penalty. No goal. Adam, after the first period, you were down a couple of goals there. What was the message to your team, and are you seeing the results that you wanted?
Well, the first message was we got to chip away. You can only get them one at a time, so we can't gamble and give them 2-on-1s. Second message was they didn't do much during the goals. We've been shooting ourselves in the foot lately. First goal was a turnover when we had possession of the puck, and they got 2 power play goals. So we've been shooting ourselves in the foot. We're playing decent hockey. We keep making mistakes. It's going to take time to get out of it. We got to play hockey.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Very honest, very cerebral, Adam Oates. And, talking to him this morning, I said, how different is it as you see 2 caps in the box? It's a 4-on-3 power play. How different is it as a coach to get out of a slump like this? As the Rangers control this draw in the 4-on-3 power play.
Sometimes 4-on-3s are more simple to work than 5-on-3s. There's so much extra room. And you don't feel the pressure to move the puck around quite as much. We'll see what the Rangers do with this.
Now Brassard for Brad Richards. Richards straight away with a shot. Holtby able to make the stop, but Adam Oates said it's harder as a coach because you don't have the same kind of control you do as a player. He said as a player, when you're in a slump, you just keep working on things until it starts to happen for you. So, but you're right. He was upbeat this morning in spite of coming off, a not very good performance against Columbus. And again, a great example here tonight where he's saying the Rangers haven't done a whole lot to earn the goals. And boy, as tough as it is to score in this league, you've got to make your opponents earn it, as this puck will get by Girardi and back into the Rangers zone.
And Brad Richards on that last shot to the net. I know he'd like to have that last shot back. He just decided, okay, enough time has passed. Let's get it to the net and not be fancy. But shooting it up into Holtby's chest area is not something that Richards usually does. That's a mistake.
Now Brassard with it. Gets the return pass from Girardi, who tees up for the one-timer. Holtby was there anticipating, made the save, and it's cleared all the way back by Karlsson. So Wilson and Carcillo come out for their coincidental minors. It becomes a 5-on-4 power play now for the Rangers. Here's Broussard, bursts his feet, sends it across. McDonough shot, save, rebound in front of an open net momentarily, but the Capitals able to clear.
Derek Broussard with a real nice move at the blue line, shifting everybody on Washington's defense and then putting it back over on the other side for the chance.
Now Chimera for the Capitals. Half a minute remaining in the Erat minor penalty, which came as a goal was being scored by Green. It negated the goal and put the Capitals shorthanded. Here come the Rangers now. Stepan tries to set up Nash. Deflects out to McDonough. Now Nash hands it again. Drops it back. Nifty little backhand pass. Comes back to number 61. Sends it rink wide. Richards bobbling momentarily. Now jams it back across. Here's Nash with it. Straight away now for McDonough. Hands it off on the far side. Erat out of the box. Has to travel a little ways to get back into the zone. Swept toward the net. Steered aside. And Chimera on the far boards.
Couple of good, dangerous no-look plays by Rick Nash. The first one, a pass to Richards, and the second one, that shot on goal.
McDonough keeps it in. Nice little bank pass off the end boards. He saw Kreider in there deep. Now on the far side, Derek Stepan moves it along for Kreider. Bounces off Erskine, checks Zuccarello. Oh, he almost had Broussard. It goes out to the line. Strawman. Now a diagonal pass comes to the near side. Oh, the Rangers just throwing the puck around with confidence. Broussard toward the net. Now Kreider with it again. Pushes it along. Capitals play it up the near side. And it's Erat that comes up with it.
That was Erskine with the play behind the net, though. Good, solid, physical play by Erskine in behind the net to knock Broussard off the puck, get it around the wall, and Washington was able to finally break up that cycle. Good stuff on Erskine.
Now to the front. Pouliot tried to make a nifty little play to himself, but didn't quite work out, and Ovechkin starts it back the other way. Penalty behind the play. Something happened back in the area of Braden Holtby.
Erskine's going to the penalty box. I didn't see it either.
No.
It was he and Pouliot coming out of the zone. Erskine's not happy. It looks like he's the only one that's going to the penalty box. The play was coming up the right side of the ice. Erskine pushing Pouliot into the goaltender there, and then giving him a little extra shot. Holtby's hung up. His stick is hung up underneath Pouliot's arm. I can see where Erskine would be a little upset on that. It's roughing, but in the scheme of things, didn't seem like a whole lot.
.13:39, the time of the Erskine roughing minor penalty. Stepan back to the line. Broussard, or rather Richards, hands it off on the far side. They look to get it back to number 19. Here's Richards with it. Now Stepan lays it back to number 19. Stepan below the goal line. Now it goes back to Richards. Kreider screening in front. Here is Nash with a shot that was blocked by Troy Brouwer. Richards again with a little chip pass that skips in wide of Braden Holtby in the Washington goal. And on the far side, Troy Brouwer will get to it. He'll start it back shorthanded now for the Capitals. Across for Brooks Light. Collides with Derek Stepan, and now McDonough slows it down and drops it back. Richards for Stepan. Wrists it along the boards. Holtby wanted to stop that with a goal stick. Could not. Orlov with a physical play on Stepan. Out to the near point. Richards could not hold it in. And McDonough will hustle over in front of Eric Fehr. Now Richards, far side. Back to the line, Girardi. Moves it along Broussard to Pouliot. Pouliot helps it along now to Richards at the right point. 35 seconds remaining in the Erskine penalty. They went for the tip play there for Broussard. Just missed it. Richards tees it up.
Pouliot got involved with goaltender Holtby again. He got a little shove from Holtby. Gave him a little slap with the stick as he was going by, too. Pouliot's played well for the Rangers, particularly of late. Very involved here again tonight.
Green jammed it off of Lundqvist, and Girardi started back with 10 seconds remaining on this Ranger power play. They have a 4-1 lead here on home ice, where they're trying to get over the 500 mark for just the second time this season. Remember, they played their first 9 games of the year on the road. Here's Broussard to the face-off dot. Slides it through. Holtby the save. There was a rebound there. Delzano with a shot. As Erskine back into the zone. But the Capitals kind of scrambling right now. Rink wide, Delzato pushes it along for Zuccarello. Hits the back of the net. One of the Rangers knocks down to the ice. And Green comes up with it. He'll send it near side for Joel Ward. Crisscrossing and drops it for Chimera. Chimera high slot now. Grabowski with a shot, and that goes wide on the glove side of Henrik Lundqvist.
Washington did a good job surviving that one. They had some tired players out there on the ice and were able to get it down finally and change after the penalty was over.
And Callahan nearly able to chop that around his future Olympic teammate John Carlson, but Carlson stayed with him as this puck goes back in along the boards behind Holtby. Now Carlson up the far side. Wilson jammed at it. Now the Capitals get it back. Orlov angles it ahead for Martin Erat. Chips it into the Ranger zone. Boyle is there, so's Grabowski. Well, Boyle was down and he just took a slash from Erat where nobody wants to get slashed. As he was on the puck, he could hear the officials saying move the puck, and I think Boyle was trying to get off it, but we will wait and see if there are penalties called. Whether there are or not, that's not fair.
That's Brian Boyle down on the ice for the Rangers. This is Martin Erat. Yeah, the puck is underneath Boyle, and he's not in any hurry to get up, but that's not how you go about getting it out from underneath him. That's not a good move. That's a dumb penalty to take by Erat. That's his third penalty, I believe, in the game.
Yes, it is. 3 minor penalties.
Erat took an interference call, which negated the Mike Green goal and that beautiful curl and drag. That was a dumb penalty as well. I wonder if he's going to be seeing much ice time the rest of the game once he gets back to his own bench.
And the other one was that hook behind the net. Out to McDonough, long-range shot. Holtby at the top of the blue paint with Kreider screening. And it's picked up now by Brouwer. He starts it back with Brooks Laich trying to jump up and get a shorthanded opportunity here, but it's turned back by the Rangers. 5th power play for the Rangers. Eric Stepan waits, and now it's blocked to the far side. Kreider gets to it. Jammed around the boards by Nash. It'll be picked up by McDonough. Richards to Nash, looking to the front, decides to go around the boards. Eric Stepan hustling to keep it in. Now McDonough. Back to Stepan. Stepan with a wrist shot, kicked aside by Holtby. Now it's lifted by Brooks Laich. All the way back into the Rangers zone.
Boy, the feel around the New York Rangers power play is so different than last year and the years before, certainly. They've just gotten a lot better and a lot more confident. They've got the 5-on-3 power play goal. The Stepan goal was almost a power play goal. Yeah. The penalty had just expired. But they moved the puck around so well, and they're getting goals because of it. There were some times where, their power play would actually suck the life out of their game.
Yeah.
And, that's a huge disadvantage. It's different for sure.
Zuccarello now for Brassard, drops it back. Girardi chopped it away from Backstrom, but now Green gets it out to number 19 in center ice. It was Backstrom. To get some time and space, hands it off for a shot here, and Lundqvist just got a piece of that wrist shot there by Fair.
That was a vicious shot. Fair came off the bench. It was a line change. You always see great scoring chances on line changes. Fair came out. None of the Rangers had looked around for him yet, and he got great penetration and a real good shot away on the move. Lundqvist had to fight it off.
Callahan rolls it in front, just misconnecting there with Hagelin as it bounces out to Fair. Erat is out of the box. And just over a minute remaining now in the second period. Fair tried to get it through to Carlson, who had jumped up on the play. Now Fair with it again, tries to push it across, but it's blocked by Stahl. And Hagelin with Callahan into the Capital zone. Callahan turns back. Hands it off now for Stahl again. Mark Stahl trying to spin away from Erat. Almost committed another infraction there. Now Hagelin with Orlov working him. Now Callahan picks it up and hammered a shot on the short side. Didn't miss by much on Holtby. Under half a minute remaining in this second period.
Almost killed Frederick Lecuyer, the referee, though. He just barely dodged that one.
Now Johansson for Grabowski. Takes it wide. Stahl keeping him to the outside. Now a drop pass for Johansson. He'll push it along.
Great job by Stahl there, just stringing that puck outside, stringing the man outside. Stick on stick, stick on puck. It forces the puck carrier to keep going wide and get out of the scoring area, which he doesn't want to do.
Well, the two captains each scored for their team. Ovechkin on a 5-on-3 and Callahan shorthanded. It is still the 3-goal lead for Callahan and the Rangers. We remind you the Discover Card intermission with Liam and Keith coming up. Erad on the way out. We've talked about the trade rumors. He hasn't done much to help his cause here tonight. And we'll take a look at the upcoming Stadium Series with games in Southern California, a couple of Yankee stadiums, Soldier Field. Right here at the end of 40 minutes, shorthanded goal by Callahan has made it 4-1 for the Rangers. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Verizon, the official wireless partner of the NHL. Back at Madison Square Garden as we take a look at our sprint storyline. Nash had already made it 1-0 with the first shot of the game then. His fourth power play goal made it 2-0. Stepan eventually increased the lead to 3-0, and Ovechkin on a 5-on-3 got the Capitals back into it. They continued on the power play, but Ryan Callahan shorthanded regained the 3-goal advantage, and that's where we stand. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom, and there's Martin Erad, who was a big topic of conversation between Liam and Keith during the intermission. And boy, it's amazing. He is the fourth highest paid player on this team. Only Ovechkin, Backstrom, and Mike Green make more than a $4.5 million that Martin Erad is making this year, and he's got one more year left on that deal. And it's the way things are going tonight, going to be very difficult to find a trading partner, I would think, Brian.
Yeah, he was traded for Philip Forsberg, who ended up one of the top scorers of the World Junior Tournament.
A 3-time 20-goal scorer with Nashville. As this shot through traffic, and Lundqvist goes down underneath Troy Brouwer. Lundqvist trying to get up, Brouwer trying to get out of there. The stick of Lundqvist goes all the way to the far corner, and the Capitals still have control of the puck, but now as it goes out to center ice, and Alzner skates it back into his own zone.
Yeah, I think Delzato pushed Brouwer into the goaltender, Lundqvist, and then Lundqvist's stick ended up way over in the corner.
Here's Backstrom, makes a nice move. Now he tries to jam it in on the short side.
Oh, that was close.
Almost went in.
That hit the handle of the stick and then just dropped right beside the net.
Now angled off the glass, center ice. Green knocked it down there. It's backhanded across as Backstrom tried to hit Johansson. It's recovered here by Kreider, and he lifts it back into the Capital zone, where Braden Holtby again is between the pipes. He replaced Grubauer after the 3-0 goal. Ovechkin gets it to the front off a Ranger stick. And Derek Stepan starts it back the other way. And that take a strange bounce off of one of the partitions. And the Capitals able to get to it. Backstrom will slide it ahead. Ovechkin a little touch pass there for Johansson. Rolls it in deep. Girardi now took a hit from Ovechkin. Kreider sends it up the far side. Callahan is there. Grabowski trying to dig it out for the Capitals.
We talk about Ovechkin and his scoring for obvious reasons, but he can be a real punishing guy, too, at about 235 pounds. When he hits you, it hurts. Pretty good run at Girardi there in the end wall.
Fair shot from an angle was turned aside by Lundqvist. Fair again. Now throws it across looking for Chimera. He'll backhand it along the boards behind the Ranger net. Girardi out the far side for Richards. Capitals get to it and hold it in. Fair dumps it in wide of the Ranger goal. Quick centering pass. Grabowski reels it back in front, and that bounced up over the glass and out of play. Don't forget, you can watch live out-of-market games with NHL Game Center Live. One subscription lets you watch on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and connected devices. Visit NHL.com/GCL. And heard Keith Jones talking about Braden Holtby, and he was going back to that incident that happened with Ray Emery and the brawl early November. That's one thing. Talking to some other media people up here in the press box that see the Capitals on an everyday basis, talking about the fact that Holtby's play also seemed to have started to slide since they've been carrying 3 goaltenders. It's never an easy thing, Brian. Never easy in practice.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're still doing that. And Grubauer, you wonder, 2 games now, even though his coach said he wasn't pulled because of his play, it was because of the team's play in their last game. He got pulled early in this one, and it definitely was because of the goals that he was letting in. So I've never liked the three goaltender situation. I mean, I don't think any coach really does, and you wonder how much longer it is going to go on here in Washington.
And Olaf Kolzig, the former Capital goaltender that works with the current Caps goalies, has been working with Holtby to change his style a little bit. They wanted to play a little bit more conservative, a little deeper in his net, not rely so much on his athleticism and reflexes. And you know how delicate goaltenders can be about changes in their game. And
he's a great puck handler. The thing when Holtby's in, he really helps the D out a lot because he's very mobile. He gets out, gets the puck, makes some good passes, and that always is a plus for defensemen.
Now Erskine jams it along the boards in behind Lundqvist. Got the goal stick on it. Now here is Ward trying to spin away from Del Zotto. Brooks Laich chips it along for Erat. Erat high slot for Ward, and that goes just wide. Lundqvist just kind of tried to make himself big there, Brian. I don't think he ever saw that puck coming through.
No, and Brooks Laich was trying to make himself small because it went right by his head.
Now Ward off the boards. Green, who had a goal negated by an Erat penalty earlier tonight, as Pouliot sends it back into the Capitals' end.
I like Mike Green's game better tonight than I have in a while. He's really had some intensity to his game. He's had the puck a lot. Yeah, he did have to score that goal that was disallowed.
Now Kreider to the outside. Spins, hands it off, step on with a shot. And one of the Capitals got a stick in there to help out Holtby. Now it comes back for another scoring chance. Kreider stopped by Holtby. And Alsner will start it back the other way. Chimera had it knocked off his stick. Now Green ahead for Ovechkin. Nice little chip pass for Chimera with a shot on a shoulder save by Lundqvist.
Boy, Chimera seemed to have an awful lot of room on the other side. Maybe he was gambling on Lundqvist moving across there. Chimera went short side, top shelf, and Lundqvist used the shoulder there. Nice play by Ovechkin in the neutral zone here to give Chimera that chance.
Now Hagelin kicks it ahead out of the line. It's held in by the Caps. Backstrom tried to give it to Carlson. It rolls all the way back into the Capital zone. Here's Holtby. You talk about his puck handling. And he got it to Carlson, who chipped it out to center ice. Brad Richards whips it right back into the Washington zone. Already played 5 minutes here in the third period. Two teams in the Metropolitan Division came under a lot of criticism early on as so many of the teams got off to bad starts.
Well, if you look at Washington's record over the last couple of years, too, they moved to the Metropolitan. The divisions are different. They played in the Southeast, and several of the years, the Southeast has not been a very strong division. And you look at where they are in the standings and say, well, they're back with the Rangers and the Islanders and the Philadelphias and the Pittsburghs, and yeah, that makes it a lot more difficult to get points. So that tells you some of where they're at in the standings right now, too.
The Rangers came in with 55 points. A chance here for Strallman, was blocked in front and back the other way. Grabowski. Rangers tied with Philadelphia with those 55 points. The three ahead of these Capitals and the suddenly red-hot Columbus Blue Jackets, who have won 6 in a row. Green flips it ahead into the Rangers end. It's gloved down. John Moore, far side for Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello across the line. Brassard goes to the front of the net. Picked up by Pouliot on the angle. That hit the outside of the goal. Brassard with it again. Working against Jay Beagle, who rides him all the way to the corner boards. And now the Capitals look to come out of their own end.
Washington doesn't have a lot of pressure on the Rangers. The Rangers, of course, played yesterday afternoon. They don't really have to worry about fatigue as much with a 4-1 lead, certainly. And they've used quite a bit of their bench fairly regularly to spread the shifts out as well, too, which coaches love to be able to do when you have the back-to-back games.
Now Richards across the line. Hagelin, quick shot, and Holtby closes everything down. It remains Rangers with a 4-1 lead. And let's go inside the glass. Here's Brian Engblom.
Rick Nash has got 7 goals in his last 8 games, and part of it is because he's got 2 goals here tonight, both goal scorers' goal. Look at the steal here. Comes in, tremendous drive to the net, puck protection, great hands to put it in. The quickness and alertness and the quick snapshot on the power play, that was his second goal in the 5-on-3, and then the setup from the blue line in to give another great scoring chance. But a good night for Rick Nash.
Rick Nash, who will be going to the Olympics for the 3rd time in his career. Had 2 goals, 3 assists in 7 games in Vancouver for the gold medal winning Canada effort as Holtby holds on to this shot. Now Wednesday night is rivalry night here on NBCSN. Patrick Kane and the Blackhawks look to break Red Wing goaltender Jimmy Howard. It's Wednesday night rivalry. Blackhawks Red Wings. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern here on NBCSN. Of course, they were longtime division and conference rivals. They're not in the same conference anymore, but still a terrific rivalry anytime any 2 sports teams from those cities get together.
I'm sure they don't miss each other much.
Yeah. John Moore shoved to the boards there by Joel Ward. Now Erat sends it out to the line. Alsner sails it in wide of Lundqvist. Light gets to it. Wheels it back. Ward centering pass and hustling down perfectly was Hagelin, who sends it out to center ice. Now Richard gets it back into the Capital zone. I know you talked about Brad Richards, Brian, at the top. What a remarkable turnaround with all the criticism, and everybody thought he was going to be a compliance buyout, and many thought even after the season started, he still might be.
Well, that was the faith that they had in him. They spent a lot of money on him, obviously.
Look out here, a pinball shot that was covered up by Lundqvist.
Yeah, that was off the leg of Ovechkin, and then Ovechkin with those great hands was able to get one little whack at it from in tight with nowhere really to go with it. But yeah, for Richards, he just went and worked out. He just wasn't in great shape last year, the lockout year. That hurt him a lot. He never really recovered. He went and worked out with Marty St. Louis and St. Louis' trainer, and he just said to the trainer, "Do to me what you do to him." and it worked. He came in great shape, and he looks like the Brad Richards of old, and he's taken the offensive game. We see an offside here by the Washington Capitals. Go back to that Ovechkin try a moment ago. The shuttle just got, there goes Ovechkin. He knows how to get open. His timing is great. It hit him in the leg. It hit the goaltender. And then Ovechkin, no, I thought he did get a piece of it. It looks like he did not. He waved at it there the one time, and I guess Lundqvist was able to fight that one off anyway. Lundqvist has been sharp around his net, and he has been very patient, which is what he talked about since his turnaround. And he has to be patient because Lundqvist does sit back farther in his crease than most goalies.
Mentioned that Lundqvist signed that contract extension, Brian, in December. There are 13 players on this Ranger roster that are in the final year of their contract, so I'd say there's got some work to do, but it's not always a bad thing to have a dozen or so very motivated athletes on your team.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Orlov far side, one-timer on the angle. Troy Brouwer missed the net. Here's a guy that they'd like to get scoring a little bit more, number 20, Troy Brouwer.
And, you know, an example of the Rangers, too, is that Benoit Pouliot. Pouliot's 5 consecutive one-year deals.
Yeah. Here's Green on a keep in on the shot, deflected up over top of the net, hit high up on the glass. Kept in by Orlov. He was run into by Carcillo. Orlov didn't like that very much at all.
Yeah, and the bench is yelling about it, too, no doubt. Yelling at the referees. They wanted a penalty for Carcillo, too.
Now Orlov plays it ahead into the Rangers zone. It's chipped by John Moore, and it deflects off the glass and out of play.
I mentioned Mike Green before, and in fact, he's got 25 points on the year, but Green, to me, is moving better in this game, Dave. He has not been the same guy, though, over the last year or so. Tremendous number of injuries, some serious ones, especially groin issues. He had a concussion. You go back about 5 years ago, he had 31 goals. The next year, he had 76 points, and he was a plus 39. He's a minus 10 this year. The points certainly don't come as easy as they used to for him. And I just don't think he gets into the play on a regular basis as much as he used to. He's just playing around the outside, although I think he has been better in this game tonight.
Alsner with a shot up high on Zuccarello. Now it comes back to Carlson. He'll hammer one. That was blocked by Del Zotto.
Oh, Zuccarello is hurting.
Yeah.
That one hit him in the midsection there, and he can barely function out there. Just taking up space, waiting to get off.
Erat sent it back, but it went between Alsner and Carlson. Yeah, Mike Green was a first-team All-NHL selection 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Those are the All-Star teams that are announced at the end of the year. There's Zuccarello, and he is in pain.
Oh, yeah, is he ever? I mean, he could barely get back to the bench. He got it right in the midsection. I'm not sure exactly of the location, but it wasn't any good, I can tell you that. And it was pretty point blank. I think it had already happened at that point. It was already on the other side of the ice, and he just limped into position and like a good soldier and waited till the puck was out of the zone before he limped off.
Now Backstrom rolls it in on Lundqvist, and he will cover up with Backstrom following up. Past the halfway mark of the third, 4-1. Everybody in the hockey world talking about what happened last night in Vancouver. This is the opening face-off. That is a defenseman, Bieksa, a tough guy for the Canucks. John Tortorella, the home coach, saw what visiting coach Bob Hartley had put in for his lineup. He answered with his tough guys that Tortorella tried to get in the locker room. But Brian, there's some history with John Tortorella and these kind of situations.
Yeah, Tortorella went over the top, I thought, last night after the fact. But this goes back to last year when the same thing happened, really. And at that time, Tortorella was blaming New Jersey for icing the guys that they did to start the game, but he had done the same thing in New Jersey the game even before that. For me, what Tortorella did afterwards, but he's in big trouble for that, going down the hallway and getting involved with the other team. You absolutely cannot do that.
Right.
That's just crazy stuff. But the fact that Hartley dressed tough guys, you see that from time to time. The Calgary players weren't out there to dance, that's for sure. And people say, well, you could have put the Sedins out there and just nullified the play. Well, what if? What if one of the Calgary players had done something to the Sedins? People would have been all over Tortorella for not putting tough guys out against him. I don't have a problem, matching that up. I don't think it's good for the game. I'm not a big fan of it. I've seen it 1,000 times. Calgary wants to play a certain game, and they obviously wanted to intimidate, and Vancouver had to respond. So the players that are out there are the players that are out there. But John Tortorella cannot go down the hallway to Calgary's end and try to start anything going. That is way over the top.
And part of the discussion earlier today on NBC between JR and Mike Milbury, and we heard Eddie Olczyk talk about it during the game as well, was Bob Hartley not getting involved with Tortorella, just basically ignoring him. Yeah, okay.
He doesn't have to. You don't have to because one guy's yelling at you. You don't have to yell back at him. There is no excuse for what Tortorella did as far as the hallway stuff and putting his tough guys out there. I think that was probably the smart play. And then just let them decide it from there. We got a penalty here in front of the net.
Going to be a hooking call at 12:03 of this third period.
We've seen quite a few hooking penalties. This one is Mark Stahl in front of the net. A play off the arm of Lundqvist, and Lundqvist didn't know where the puck was. So Stahl actually, that's a good penalty you like to take because the puck was in a dangerous scoring area. Lundqvist hadn't found it yet. Mark Stahl's getting back in a position, and he reaches in and takes the hooking penalty. Very well might have saved the goal. That's worthwhile.
Capitals 1 for 3 on the power play, and that was a 5-on-3 power play goal by Ovechkin. The only puck that's got past Lundqvist here tonight. 4-1, Rangers lead as Bears tip is deflected in front. Now Backstrom chases it down. Johansson, and it skips away from Green. A race for the puck. Hagelin's got good speed, and Green realized that he had to pick up his pace, get back there to play that puck.
Yeah, Green can skate too. That was good body positioning. He has the advantage of that, and he used it to his advantage, not letting Hagelin get a beeline to the puck.
Now Backstrom will play it to the corner. Boyle leans on Johansson. Hagelin again, hands it off. McDonough. Couple of Capitals on him. Now a bouncing puck out in front of Lundqvist. Cleared to the line, but not out. Ovechkin to Green. Now to Johansson. Down low, quick centering pass, and the Rangers responded well, and now Boyle will send it all the way down the ice.
Well, that was a complete miscue there by Washington. They played the puck up. Holtby slapped it all the way up to the blue line. It was a wholesale change for the power play of the Washington Capitals. Nobody there to get it.
Now Erat weaving his way through the neutral zone. Hands it off for Grabowski. He wanted to feed it back for Brouwer, but it was blocked by Callahan and sent down the ice with 35 seconds remaining in the Stahl penalty. Now Erat across the line. Tries to feed it back to the slot area. Now chopped away, but Erat recovers. Back to Carlson. Sends it on the far side. Here's Ovechkin with a shot, and it's blocked to the end boards. Ovechkin again.
That was Strawman with the block.
Now Erat Sets up the high shot by Carlson. That was blocked by Dominic Moore. And it is sent all the way back as Stahl is out of the box in under 6 minutes remaining in the third period. The Rangers continue to lead it by 3.
And there was the familiar shot blocking we've seen a lot of from the Rangers the last few years.
Lundqvist steers this puck to the board. Joel Ward helps it along for Brooks Light. Now Chimera with it. Turns to his forehander, tries to. Derek Stepan leaning on him. Now Delzato plays it along the glass. Bouncing puck. And Kreider went down as he clears the puck back into the Washington zone. The Capitals came in, as we mentioned, 3 points behind the Rangers. They played 2 fewer games. Well, the Rangers wanted to make sure they get some more separation because they still will have played 2 more games than the Capitals. They're looking to increase the lead to 5 points over their rivals who they've met the last 3 years of the playoffs. A centering pass here intended for Joel Ward. And they have played 4 of the last 5 years in the postseason, including 3 Game 7s. As Pouliot with a shot here that's deflected by Holtby to the far side. And now Beagle spins away from Pouliot's attempted check. Icing is called here.
The Washington Capitals have made just too many mistakes in this game. Adam Oates, the coach, talked about it in the second period. This is a bad turnover. This is the first goal of the game. Orlov with a terrible pass. Nash makes them pay. And then a shorthanded goal. That was a big mistake. And then Mike Green scores a goal, but a bad penalty called on Martin Erat that was well-deserved, nullified that goal. Mistakes by Washington really cost them in this game.
Third straight road game for Adam Oates' team that's in the midst of a stretch of playing 8 out of 9. Away from Verizon Center, it is 4-1 here at Madison Square Garden. Rangers with the lead. Minnesota-Dallas here on NBCSN. Tuesday coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Wednesday night rivalry, Chicago and Detroit Wednesday night. And then Pittsburgh and the Islanders Thursday. Coverage begins with NHL Live at 7 Eastern for that one.
Boy, Dallas has got to pull themselves out of a slump.
Yeah, they do.
They've had it really rough the last couple of weeks, dropping a lot of points.
Mentioned that that's a rematch of a game played last night in Minnesota on Hockey Day in Minnesota. The Wild won that game in overtime. Dallas was pretty close to a playoff spot, and now they find themselves 8 or 9 points behind the teams in the West as this puck deflected up on the netting and out of play.
Well, Washington's not helping themselves in that playoff race either, and although the playoffs seem a long ways away, it's on the players and the coaches' minds all the time. Alain Vigneault has got his team motoring along pretty good now. What a process it's been. Very interesting to watch this Ranger team since the turnover, change of coaches at the beginning of the year and what they went through on the road to where they are now in a different feeling Ranger team. A little more offense and certainly I think a lot more offensive snap and quickness to their game as well. And I think Hagelin, Kreider, players like that who get more ice time, Zuccarello, all guys that have more confidence this year certainly than they did last year are guys that are making a difference along with Brad Richards, who's looking like the Brad Richards of old.
And Lundqvist as well, who we've talked about throughout the course of this game, as Orlov with a shot that is stopped by Lundqvist. He rambles to get back to his left, thinking there might be a quick shot coming back at him, but he looks
help. Uncomfortable. He looks really uncomfortable too. Lundqvist tweaked something there. He was kind of stretching his back after that. I didn't get a good look at it from my angle here, but Lundqvist immediately sort of arching his back and moving around a little bit there. Those eyes are eyes that are showing a little bit of pain. Makes the save there. We'll see if we can figure out what he didn't get bumped into. That right leg was sort of stuck in behind him a little bit into him. I wonder if that's what it was. He definitely was in pain as soon as he got up. Not enough pain, obviously, to come to the bench and get it looked at.
Well, the Rangers have called the timeout here with 3:16 remaining in regulation time, but
I think that's for Lundqvist.
Yeah, it might be. And how fortunate, though, that Alain Vigneault was able to get another great performance from the backup goaltender, Cam Talbot. You look at the leading goaltenders in terms of goals against average in the National Hockey League, and Cam Talbot's at the very top of the list as we get another ice level look at Lundqvist, and you can tell right away he's not comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's the arching the back and just flexing a little bit.
Talbot did a terrific job for the Rangers when Lundqvist was still struggling. Talbot goes in and into Ottawa yesterday afternoon, does the job. 10 wins already on the year. That save percentage is outstanding. And King Henrik looking like King Henrik again over his last half dozen, probably 10 games at this point, looking very strong again.
Yeah, Talbot with the best goals against and best save percentage.
Well, Lundqvist had played 6 straight games, and then Talbot went in yesterday, so Lundqvist now has started 9 of the last 11.
Now Grabowski's centering pass blocked all the way back into the Capital zone. But you look down the list, there's so many interesting stories this year. Josh Harding, Ben Bishop, Brian Elliott, and Halak doing the job again as a tandem in St. Louis. Eddie Lack having to play with Luongo being out.
How about Anaheim? Anaheim needs 3 goalies too, and they've been brilliant.
Chimera sends it into the Ranger zone. Steve Mason just signing a contract extension with Philadelphia, another goaltender. You always, in recent years, look at what the situation is in Philadelphia. As a stretch pass here for Callahan, just missed, working out for a clean breakaway, and then a centering pass for Boyle ends up on the far board.
Yeah, I think that was John Moore that made that pass right before he took off to the Ranger bench. Right on the tape for Callahan, and he couldn't quite handle it cleanly enough to get a clean break from the blue line in.
Under 2 minutes remaining in this one. Again, the Rangers trying to get over the 500 mark here at Madison Square Garden. And we were talking this morning with George McPhee, the general manager, who, of course, played a bit with the Rangers, talks about what a special building this is. And you know the Rangers want to get back to really making this the home ice advantage that it can be.
Yeah, they fixed their road game, and they've got a terrific road record over the last month and a half especially. But, the Rangers want to have their crowd back on their side and make this a tough place to play, and the way you do that is to grind out the points.
Carrick sends it back into the Rangers zone. It rolls in on Lundqvist, and he decides he will cover it up. Lundqvist talking a little bit with John Moore.
Well, I think their game is solid defensively still, but the adjustment to handling the puck and being a more 4-line team and being a more quick, high-tempo team, focusing on different things. They practice the power play so much this year, which they hadn't in the past. They don't concentrate on shot blocking and the things that they did as much as they used to. They still do it. But all that focus and all that change took a little while to take hold, and because of that, it's not an easy process, but it's starting to pay off now for New York.
Broussard will send it back into the Capital zone. Holtby out to play it. Hands it off for Eric Fehr. Bouncing puck back in front of the Capitals' goal. Green has it. Now the Rangers are once again going to win a special teams battle. A 5-on-3 goal, a shorthanded goal. As Chimera had it knocked off his stick. And for the time being, the Rangers will have only the Penguins in front of them in the Metropolitan Division standings. Now it's poked along by Delzato. And the Capitals' Chimera went down. He looked at the referee, and with 10 seconds to go, there's not going to be a call here. As Wilson and Carcillo watch these two. Linesmen were right there, and nothing's going to happen.
Wilson wanted something to happen.
Yeah, he did.
Carcillo, and the referees and the linesmen did a nice job there. At the end of the game, no sense letting anything get out of control.
And again, this is the last time these teams play this season. This is the 4th and final meeting of the regular season.
Few words being exchanged, as you might expect. They've played each other a couple times in the playoffs over the last couple of years, there's definitely some hard feelings. Carcillo was acquired just a couple of weeks ago. We still got some action now. Carcillo and Erskine out at center ice. with some words, and the referees and the linesmen really get in the middle of all that.
Well, originally, when that all stopped, there was still 2.7 on the clock, but the clock has run down to 0, so I guess the game's over, Brian.
It is now.
And the Rangers over to congratulate Henrik Lundqvist. As the Rangers win it by a final score of 4-1. For the rest of our crew and Brian Amelom, I'm Dave Trader saying thanks for watching. We'll have an interview with one of the stars of the game with Brian in just a moment.